Hello friends, I have a new project. I have somebody who sent me an Amiga 1200 and it has a very minor repair it requires. So I'm just going to do a quick video. But first things first, let's just test this thing out, make sure it survives shipment and that there's no issues with it as far as we can tell. Hey, look at that, we actually brought our 1084 out. I don't use that very much because I have those adapters, VGA and HDMI adapters. I sell them on eBay, so if you're interested. But anyway, so let's give this a try. I have my special power supply that's fused and it has LEDs for the power rails. And let's just give this a try. I'm sure everything's fine. It's going to have a delay because we don't have a hard drive and we don't have a floppy drive, so it's like a double delay before the workbench comes up. The kickstart, sorry, comes up. Ooh, that was ridiculous. Okay. Yeah, alright, so we're good. 3.2 ROM, yeah. Okay, so let's take a look at the one small repair the board needs. Okay, well, I don't know how well you can see that. You should be able to see it pretty well. I got my macro lens on there. So there's a pin missing right there. And this is the IDE connector. Never seen that before. Kind of an odd thing. Let's just take a look at the other side real quick. Oh, it's got this thing on here still. Oh, and it's taped on. Okay. So that pin was in that vicinity over there. We don't have any missing pins, so it broke off. It did actually break off. That's interesting. That's really interesting. Yeah, I've never seen anything like that. Pretty minor fix. The gentleman was thinking like he would just get another entire pin header. I don't really see the point of that. I'm pretty sure I can get the remnants of what's left of that out of there and just insert a new pin, and we'll give that a try. I've never tried anything like that. We'll see how it goes. I guess, I mean, enough of the pins are sticking out on the other side where I hopefully can get a pair of needle nose on it and grab it and yank it out while I'm heating it with solder. Try that first. Another alternative thing to do would be to put a new pin on this side and push on it while I'm heating the other side up. But first thing, obviously I would use my desoldering gun to remove as much of the solder from it as I can. So I'm going to have to count to see which one it is and make sure I affect the right one. Anyway, so let's get started on this. Okay, here we are on our workbench, and I'm going to start by removing the solder. I need to count here. Now, if I need to pull the pin, I'm going to use the pair of pliers that the gentleman who's the owner of this motherboard sent me as a free gift because he's very nice. Thank you, Jeff S. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The seventh pin from this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right there. Here we have our Hacko desoldering gun. Oh. Well, that was super easy. Pin got sucked right out. Perfect. Let me get another pin. So here's a bunch of pin headers that I own that I've collected, and then we just need to find one of the appropriate length, or at the very least one that's longer, and then we can clip it. And I'll try to leave the excess on this side of the board to clip it on this side of the board, because we want the little beveled point to be the part. We want to preserve that beveled point for the ease of plugging in the ribbon cable. Well, these certainly seem like they're long enough. So I guess we'll just go ahead and use one of these, because I'd rather take the guesswork out of it. So all I did was just yank it out of, and here we have one right here. So, oops, and I dropped it. Yeah, see that? The ends of these header pins have a bevel on them so that the connectors can slide on them easier, and I want to make sure that that stays there. Let's hope that the plastic, it seems like the plastic on the other side is going to hold it in place. So just need to orient it correctly and give it a push. It's weird. It's almost like the hole is blocked, and it kind of looks blocked to me. Let me see if I can see through it. No, I can't. Okay, so we need to. I tried pushing it through, and it didn't really. It wasn't really cooperating. The question is should I use a pin vise? Is that what they call it? A pin vise? These small drill bits? Should we use micro drill bits, or should we just use heat? I'm thinking heat might be the better option, frankly. I kind of like the idea of using heat to do it. All right, let's give this a try. I'm just going to. You guys see what I'm doing okay? Just going to apply some heat. If I can get, I don't want to block the camera. Let's see what happens here when we heat it up. Let's just give this a little bit of patience. A little wiggle, a little pressure. There we go. Got it. Got it. Now we need to put something on the cover this. Just raise it up a little bit so that yeah, because we're a little proud, we're a little high here, so we're just going to push it back down to the right level. It seems like it's a little out of alignment to me. Maybe the plastic didn't melt perfectly. But we should be able to, correct that. Actually, the one next to it, I think. I love these pliers. Thank you, Jeff. Yeah, that one looks a little bent this way, didn't it? I think that's going to be okay. I think that'll do it. So we're just going to add some solder to this and the one next to it, since it seems to have lost some of its solder as well from my desoldering. This one here too. Hopefully I'm not covering it up. That's interesting. Okay, yeah. That's right. There's plastic on the other side, John. You need to be careful not to melt it too much. Come on. Oh, I just love it when they go flying and then they wind up in your foot later. Yeah, there's definitely cat shenanigans going on. Okay, let me just take a really close look here. Visual inspection. Yep, looks good. You can see where it is, but I'm not as concerned about making it look like it's stealth and that it never was broken. Main concern is to make it reliable. So, actually, this is really strange. Again, something I've never seen with these pins. It's like this computer got beat up or whatever, because look at this pin. It's shorter than the others. But on the other side, it's not like it's been pushed in on the other side. So in other words, like somehow the top piece of it broke off. I mean, how do you even... That's really strange. That is really strange. I don't get it. So I want to see if I can just, well, let's see how much space, see how much, yeah, without too much trouble, I could probably just, see. It's this one right here. So without too much trouble, I can push it down a little bit. It'll still have plenty of, I mean, there's quite a bit of the pin sticking up. It's even with the others though, which is really strange. So that means a piece of it broke off, or maybe it was that way from the factory. I've never seen anything like that. Anyway, so I'm gonna try to just push it down, or push it up basically, just to see if, guess I'll have to grab it from the other side and try to yank it, or maybe I can push it down while heating it up like this. Let's try that right now. Just a tiny bit of solder here. Okay, let's see. See if we can't just push that down a little bit. How am I going to keep from pushing it down too far? Because it's just going to kind of jump. I'm going to put my tool this way so that when I go down to a certain point, it's going to hit this pin next to it and avoid going too far. Okay. Pop down 1 millimeter or 2. I think that's actually acceptable. Now it's within it's probably a millimeter off, shorter than the other ones now. I just don't know if it's worth it to replace it, but I guess I could. Just giving this a try. I can come down a little more. Oh yeah, I think that's fine. And of course it came out, it's a little bit tweaked. The end ones tend to be anyway, because you pull up on the ribbon cable and one side wants to come up. You pull up on the ribbon cable and one side always seems to want to come up. And then what happens is on the opposite side where it came up first, the pins get a little bent, and some people complain about that. Hey, you're not being too careful. Well, what are you going to do? Remove it. Remove the ribbon cable like you would a chip, and use a puller or a screwdriver, small screwdriver or something. So yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with that. There's still quite enough here. To have a solder blob on it and have a good strong bond. So we'll just leave that the way it is. Okay, sorry if you hear a noise in the background. Just got a lot of stuff going on. So let's just forego the keyboard and cover. I did pull my A1200 out to get the compact flash out. It's already set up. I probably won't boot actually all the way because of the fact that we have yet another motherboard with 3.2 in it, which the 3.1 workbench is not going to boot. So anyway, let's okay, we're good there. Amiga test kit on the floppy. Let's eject it and test the hard drive. Yeah, it looks like we're good. So it's going to freeze, it's going to stop when it runs into a library problem, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. This one is icon.library. Anyway, so we know that the IDE interface works, and we know that the computer is pretty much as functional as it was stated anyway at this point. How am I going to think to test every single thing? By the way, I don't think I mentioned it, but this gentleman, Jeff, who sent me this, this motherboard actually goes into a Checkmate case. He actually got a hold of a Checkmate Amiga 1200. I think those Checkmate cases are pretty cool.